Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Property Management 101, and today we'll be discussing best practices for managing a lease up. If you've not already done so, please watch my disclosure video as well as my why I do this video. And if you found this video helpful and learned something new, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. This video will apply best for anyone that is managing a multifamily property that is a newly developed property or was a recent renovation that forced a major drop in occupancy due to the types of renovations that were going on. Number one best practice to keep in mind when managing a lease up, manage your expirations. What is often referred to as the year two hangover of lease ups is usually due to the management or lack of management of expiration. This is due to a lot of times with a lease up, you get or receive from construction a lot of inventory at one time. If you're not managing your expirations well, you could be facing a lot of expirations that are falling into the same time period that makes it very hard to backfill any potential move-outs. If you have an overabundance of expirations in 1 month, expecting less demand that you're able to backfill, then you could be facing a situation where you would have to drop your renewal offers to put the asset in a strong position to maintain the occupancy, or you may be facing a situation where you see a drop in occupancy. Number two thing to keep in mind when managing a lease up is concessions. Many lease ups have bigger than normal budgets to offer concessions to attract a high amount of velocity to ensure the asset fills up quickly. The downside with using a lot of concessions is that typically these are usually only offered for the first year, and once the lease up is complete, those concessions run out. So those residents renew typically will see a bigger increase than normal, because they're not only not receiving the concessions anymore, but that's on top of also receiving a renewal offer with some sort of increase. And this makes it very hard to maintain a high renewal conversion. Here's the math of an example of this. Let's say, for example, someone signs a 12-month lease for $1,000 a month, and they receive a 1-month free special, which is not uncommon with a lease-up. If you were to amortize that concession, that resident would be paying $917 a month. Let's say, for example, their renewal offer only saw a 5% increase, and now this does not include that concession. Now that resident will be paying $1050 a month, which is a $133 increase or a 15% increase. If there were a lot of concessions offered during that lease up, this could make those renewal conversations with residents very difficult. In many cases, concessions are needed for lease ups, but I would warn anyone to avoid overusing these, as it will only hurt the position of the asset long term. And number three best practice to keep in mind when managing a lease up, selling the newness. As you lease up your property, one of the big benefits of a lease up is for future residents that were receiving a new unit or a newly converted unit. But I would warn the staff not to oversell that dynamic, as this is only going to apply for that first year. You want to ensure that your staff is really showcasing the entire package of all the values for your particular asset, not just the newness of that asset, as staff members I've seen really struggle that second year when they're not able to sell that newness anymore. I hope you found this video helpful and learned something new. If so, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. If you have any questions about this video or any of my videos, feel free to comment below and I'll be happy to address them. Happy leasing!